Forget what you heard. Yeah, boy!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Luke.
And I drive way too fast to worry about my cholesterol. Today on Forget What You Heard, we're going to talk about some fantasy football, some rankings, some pre-training camp rankings, man. We've been chomping at the bit to get this started, so we just can't wait to training camp. We're going to give you some fantasy before, during, and after. But before we get started, there's something we need to hear. Most importantly, how are you, Brother Bear?
Doing good, man. Thanks for asking. Happy to be here. Happy to share this time on the podcast with you, man. And blessed, man. Happy Father's Day to the fathers out there. Hope you had a wonderful day, chilling, watching the U.S. Open, drinking, whatever you guys like to do. I'm going to support you guys, and I hope it was a great day. So happy Father's Day to the dads out there.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, the Papa Bears. You know, shouts out to you. Today's your day. We love you guys. We hope you enjoy your day. Let's get right into it, shall we?
Let's do it, man. What we got?
We're going to rank top 10 at each position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. This is pre-training camp. We're just going to go off the Mosey train and see what goes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm excited to do that. Get some of them early listings out. Get you guys an idea of what we're thinking right now before we get into this training camp. Because once training camp happens, you start getting reports.
Things can change.
Yeah, the water starts
Real
whipping.
quick.
You get hidden under one of those currents under the waves, man. You get drifted out into sea. So
That's when you need a beaver.
beaver, life vest, floaties, whatever you got near you, man. Hop on it. So first thing first. This is for fantasy purposes only. Top 10. First, we'll start from the quarterback position. So number 10. We'll go from 10 to 1, just to, give you guys some anticipation. So I'm going to ask you, man, who do you have as your 10th ranked quarterback in 2022?
For my 10th ranked quarterback is a guy who's a new face in a new place. Russell Wilson, quarterback for the Denver Broncos. He's got a solid arsenal around him. Every report I've heard is very positive. So this could be a slight on him. But you know what? I'm going to take it safe and go Russell Wilson 10 for your boy.
Okay, wow. That's surprising because I also have Russell Wilson at number 10.
And just to let everyone know, we have not shared our list with each other.
No, this is right off the top.
This is organic, man. This is like having a compost pile in your backyard. Poop, poop, tweet, tweet. We got a new thing going.
Yeah, and 10's hard, man, because if we're just doing top 10, you're leaving off more than half the league.
Yeah, it was tough, but at the same time, I think quarterback's one of the easier positions.
Yeah, it's basically the same guys, just kind of interchanged on how you feel about them personally.
Yeah.
But for Russell Wilson, it's all about the new landscape, the new feel, the Denver Broncos mile high. He's got new weapons. He's got a good offense, new offensive coordinator.
New ownership. Everything's new.
Just a brand new feel. It's a fresh start for Russell Wilson. And, Russ is one of those guys who plays it on his chip on his shoulder, so he's going to be out there looking to prove that he's still got it, man, that he's still a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And just for me, the weapon upgrade, the offensive line upgrade, the offensive upgrade for Russell Wilson, and then playing in that division, it's going to force him to have to, throw a lot, to run a lot. And just put up fantasy points, man. That's what Russell Wilson's going to do. So I have him at 10.
You want to go to 9's?
Sure.
Who you got?
At number 9, I have Trey Lance.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's a little bold, man, but see, to me, fantasy football is about who's going to get the most fantasy points, obviously. And I think Trey Lance, he gets the start from week 1 all the way through week 17. There's no doubt in my mind that he's not a top 10 quarterback. To me, he's this year's Jalen Hurts. A guy who's not known for being a great thrower, but just what he can do on the ground. I mean, he scored rushing touchdowns last year in his rookie year. Didn't get a lot of playing time, but he showed flashes. He's capable of the deep ball. I know he's got accuracy issues, but none of that matters in fantasy football. And Trey Lance is just a guy I can easily see finishing top 10. And he's got a ton of upside with his rushing ability, like I said, with the weapons, with Ayuk, Kittle, Debo. And the Niners are just a team that I can trust with Kyle Shanahan. So Trey Lance at number 9 for me.
That's very intriguing, and I wanted to push him into the top 10. However, he did not make my top 10. But I respect, because I like the Jalen Hurts comparison. Yeah, if he gets 9, 10, 8 rushing touchdowns, that's he's got a good chance of making that top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle Shanahan's gonna mold this offense around Trey Lance because they drafted him last year. He's got time under his belt. He may not put up the prettiest numbers, but that don't matter in fantasy. It's all about how much you put up, what you're doing with your legs, this and that. So I like that. I was trying my hardest to push him into that top 10. I just couldn't do it, man. So I salute you for putting Sir Trey Lancelot in the top 10.
Thank you, man. Who do you have at number 9?
I got Joe Burrow.
Wow.
Yeah, I have him 9. It's a tough division. I'm not sure. I think besides the fact of fantasy, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a winning quarterback. I think he'll put up good numbers. As far as fantasy goes, I see him as number 9. Tough division. He doesn't run a lot. There's a lot of that. He's still, it's his, what is it, his 4th year, 3rd year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's still a lot remaining to be seen from Joe. But I have high hopes, and this could be a mistake, but it's how I'm playing it this year. I haven't really been high on Joe Burrow. I wouldn't want him on my fantasy team. I wouldn't. Where he's going, I'm not going there.
Yeah, if you have him 9th, you're probably not going to get him in any of your drafts. But what makes you have him at number 9 in terms of ECR has him at like 6 or 7, depending on where you look. So you have him lower.
I have him lower. I love his weapons. That's of course why I put him in the top 10. I don't know. He's one of those quarterbacks. It's like Stafford has never been like a great fantasy quarterback, and he kind of it puts up a lot of yards and touchdowns, but there's not a lot of substance there. I don't know how to really explain it, but he just seems like one of those guys that, he puts up good real life numbers, but it doesn't always translate to fantasy for me. But I think, yeah.
Okay, I like that. I think that's fair with your reasonings.
Thank you. But I love Joe Burrow, man. Shouts out to you. What's his nickname?
Joe Shiesty, Joe Cool.
I like Joe Shiesty.
Yeah, that's a good nickname for him. He's a winner, dude. He likes to ball in big moments.
Number 8.
You want me to go? I got Dak Prescott.
Ooh.
I've got Dak Prescott at number 8. We'll probably talk about him again, but I like him as more of a bounce back candidate this year. He was a guy I had ranked 5th or 6th last year, so I was very high on him last year. But coming off the injury like that and getting reacclimated to playing NFL again, maybe I was just a year early on that projection. So he's a guy I've been debating on. Losing Amari Cooper obviously is a big deal. But getting the emergence of CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and eventually Jalen Tolbert are some pretty good weapons. And it's a year later removed from his ankle injury. So to me, that means he's going to look to run a little more. I think they've already had reports of that. So if he can get back to getting those 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns along with some designed runs, he's keeping it instead of giving it to Zeke, like we've seen in the past. He's got that upside to be a top 5 quarterback. So I'm playing it safe by 8, but by no means does that mean he's not off my radar. He's definitely a guy I'm targeting in later rounds. And, yeah, man, Dak Prescott at number 8.
I have boy wonder Tom Brady, number 8.
Okay.
We've seen it. As of late, Tom Brady is a fantasy he's always a good quarterback option to have, especially since he's been on Tampa Bay. He's putting up crazy numbers, 5 touchdown games, 400-yard games. He's basically playing Madden, you know what I mean? Like, he's got free reign. He doesn't have a coach, hanging over his head, choosing. He's making his own plays. He's doing his own thing. And, he's 46, 45, whatever he is. And, he's still slinging that ball. He's got tons of weapons. When Chris Godwin gets back, Mike Evans, Gronk might come back. He's got Russell Gage now, Leonard Fournette. He's got a lot of things going for him. And he's seen every defense you can throw at him. There's not much. If you can keep him on his feet, he's going to produce fantasy-wise. So that's why I have him number 8. Crazy that a 45-year-old is in the top 10 of fantasy quarterbacks.
Yeah, just based off last year, I think he was like QB4, maybe 3 in fantasy football. Something you wouldn't really expect, but, the weapons that he has, that offense that he's in, we shouldn't expect him to be, any less unless you're going to predict Father Time to come out of nowhere, but no one can predict that, so you shouldn't predict that. But, for me, Tom Brady was the guy left out of the top 10. He's number 11 for me. But to me, that just seems like a bargain if I can get him later like that. But I just like the upside of the rushing guys a little more than Tom. But by all means, he could easily be a top 5 QB again. If Chris Godwin can come back for week 1,
Is he not on your list?
No, he's 11th.
Oh. Shall we move on?
Yes, sir.
I'll just do my 7th is Dak Prescott.
Okay.
For all the reasons you mentioned earlier. I like, his weapons, and I like the talk of him running more. I think that adds a little value to him. And I'm intrigued by this Dallas offense. I don't know, they lost Amari, but they still have CD, Michael Gallup, Tolbert, Schultz. Tony Pollard might work out of the slot a little bit. That might be a little nice right there. So I like what I'm hearing out of Dallas with Dak. And I think he's a hard worker and loves football. That's another thing. So I have him 7th on my list of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I got Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow at number 7. And like you said, yeah, Joe Burrow's upside is tremendous with the weapons and what he's shown so far. He's just capped in fantasy because of, he's not a runner. And but in terms of just a pocket passer, he's, 1 or 2 outside of the guys who are going to run up there in the top 5 and 6. And just having weapons like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase who can take it to the house on any play just makes him that much more valuable in fantasy football. And I don't expect any different from the Cincinnati Bengals offense. If anything, they could be a little better with the offensive line upgrades and what we expect out of Joe Mixon as well. So Joey B at 7 for me, man.
Knock, knock.
Who there?
Theodore.
Theodore who?
Theodore wasn't open, so I knocked. Let's go to 6.
You get the window open.
Let's go to 6. Shout, wink.
Mm-hmm.
I got Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
The quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
I love him as far as fantasy goes, as far as his legs, the way they use him on the goal line. He could be having a bad day, but those 2 rushing touchdowns really help. He's what we call a Konami code. He can have a horrible day passing, but them legs, you're going to get out of it nice. Unlike some others like Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, there's 2 different ways that Jalen can hurt you. And it's with his arm, and it's with his leg. And, I have trust that Jalen will, he has A.J. Brown now, so he has better targets to throw to. And I think he's got a really, really high ceiling and a really high floor. And I like that about him.
Yes, I like that. I like what you got going on over there.
Hey, man, I'm sleeping on it.
But not my number 6 is similar to your number 6, but it's Kyler Murray is my number 6 quarterback. He's a guy I really liked last year. He was, I think, my second-ranked quarterback. Now I got him number 6. And a lot of that has to do with the Hopkins 6 games. I mean, that's a big hit for him. I mean, we saw last year when Hopkins was out, Kyler was not the same guy. I know he was dealing with injuries and everything, but losing, one of those number 1 options, those top guys for you, is a big deal, especially with Arizona. And they brought in Marquise Brown to kind of be the number 2 with A.J. Green and Zach Ertz, but I love Kyler Murray's rushing ability, but there's just something weird in the air about Kyler Murray. Maybe it's the contract stuff, but I'm not sure. I really like seeing the videos of him working out. He's added a lot of weight. He looks like a big, strong hedgehog. He's little, but, man, he's wicked fast. He's got a big arm. He's very talented. But like I said, the Hopkins for the first 6 weeks kind of tempers my expectations. I do expect a lot from Marquise Brown and Zach Ertz. But we can also see, James Conner getting a lot of work. They drafted, I want to say, 2 running backs. So to me, maybe they move towards running the ball a little more too. And, Kyler Murray at 6.
That leads me right in at number 5. I have Kyler Murray. It was tough between Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray, but I gave the slight edge to Kyler Murray because of his arm.
Let me hear this.
His arm.
Okay.
His deep ball is phenomenal. He's got Marquise Brown. I think he's more dangerous through the air than Jalen Hurts. I think he's more polished as a passer than Jalen Hurts.
Right.
But he's also very dangerous with his legs.
Very.
So with that combination, I'm more scared. I trust Kyler's arm more than Jalen's. That's basically the difference between those two. I'm not saying that Jalen can elevate his game and be right up there with Kyler, if not better, and Kyler regresses. But Baby Yoda's got my vote this year right now, my vote of confidence until I see something else in training camp. And I like the way, Kyler's a jack of all trades. So I have him a top 5 quarterback going into the 2022 season.
Yeah, man, I agree because, when I first made my rankings, I had Kyler at 5. He just feels more comfortable, like you said. He's definitely the safer option. He's probably more skilled than Jalen Hurts. But then in my head, man, I'm thinking, it doesn't matter who has the bigger arm. It doesn't matter who's the fastest. It matters who's going to get the more fantasy points, and I think it's going to be Jalen Hurts. There's no reason Jalen Hurts shouldn't be better than what he was last year with the additions of A.J. Brown, with another year in the offense, another year of training camp for Jalen Hurts. We shouldn't expect anything less than, 700 yards and 7 to 8 rushing touchdowns, and along with, bigger, more juicier numbers in the passing game with the addition. So to me, yes, Kyler feels safer. He's the better player, but Jalen Hurts just feels like he has the potential to get more fantasy points than Kyler, just with the weapons and his legs and the offense alone. So that jumped Jalen Hurts over Kyler Murray for me. I have Jalen as a top 5 quarterback, and I'm not scared of it.
I have another reason why I picked Kyler over Jalen.
Okay, I'd love to hear it.
The coaching. I think Cliff Kingsbury trusts Kyler and opens up the playbook for him, whereas Nick Sirianni has kind of limited Jalen's ability with that playbook, and they run the ball a lot. That's something that scares me. It can potentially cap Jalen, whereas Kyler, he can do it all right now, and they trust him. He has that trust. But Jalen can definitely get that trust, and Nick Sirianni should, take off the training wheels, open up that playbook, and let that boy eat.
Right, well said.
I want what's on your plate.
I'll give it to you for a couple dollars.
What are we looking at?
Are we at 4?
4.
You want me to get it?
Yeah, get it going.
Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh.
I've got him at number 4. Might be a little low. I think he was a quarterback 3 last year. But like you said, man, Patrick Mahomes is the most talented, top 2 talent in the NFL at quarterback. But this is fantasy football. He lost his number one wide receiver. Tougher division, tougher defenses. He's still a top 4 quarterback for me, man. Don't get it twisted. I still draft him. I still like him a lot. But just the guys that I like up top, I like a little more in terms of fantasy with the rushing ability and stuff. Mahomes is just the best, pocket passer. He's going to get you a few scramble yards, but he doesn't have that Konami code. He doesn't have that rushing ability. And like I said, he lost his number one weapon, so that's not going to help. But so I have Mahomes, at 4. I debated him at 3, but ultimately just left him at number 4 because I like the upside of the other guys more, I think.
I like that. I was going to do the same thing. However, my number 4 is Lamar Jackson
for
the Baltimore Ravens. It was a tough decision. But for me, it's like they lost Hollywood Brown. They didn't really add anyone in free agency. They have Rashad Bateman, who I'm very, very high on, and I like. Mark Andrews. But still, for Lamar Jackson to really take that next step, I think he needs more help on the wide receiver core. Yes, we know what he can do with his legs. His arm is what worries me. Last year, a lot of turnovers and stuff. I think he'll be fine, of course. I have him top 4, but it's just some things hold me back from putting him in that upper echelon top tier, the top 3. I need him to put it all together. I've seen MVP Lamar and then a regression Lamar. Are we going to get more of the MVP, or are we going to get another regression, And I'm not necessarily pinning this all on Lamar, but more weapons can only help the guy, So, yeah, I love him, and I'm very high on him. And I think he can have another MVP season. But, I'm just going to play it safe right now until he's in contract stuff. A lot of stuff hanging over his head, you know what I mean? So, I have Lamar Jackson. I love him, man. Number 4. Thank you.
Okay, before we go on to 3, would you mind running down your list just to give a refresher?
Yeah, number 10, I had Russell Wilson. 9, Joe Burrow. 8, Tom Brady. 7, Dak Prescott. 6, Jalen Hurts. 5, Kyler Murray. 4, Lamar Jackson.
Okay. And then for me, it's 10, Russell Wilson. 9, Trey Lance. 8, Dak Prescott. 7, Joe Burrow. 6, Kyler Murray. 5, Jalen Hurts. And 4, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3 for me is Lamar Jackson. I'm very tempted to move him to number 2. You made a lot of great points for Lamar as to why he should be ranked 3 or 4. But for Lamar, for me, man, this is a prove himself year. He's looking to get paid. He's betting on himself. He even said he has more things to prove. Even after winning MVP, even after making the playoffs multiple years, Lamar Jackson looks beefier. He's training really hard.
He does.
He looks healthy and strong. And Lamar Jackson is the ultimate Konami code in fantasy football. No matter what you want to say about his arm, his weapons, it doesn't matter to Lamar Jackson. This is fantasy. This isn't real life. He's not the best quarterback, but he's going to get a poop ton of fantasy points if he's healthy, if he's playing, and he's playing good ball. But ultimately moving him ahead of Patrick Mahomes for me is him betting on himself and him coming out looking to prove a lot. So to me, he's going to want to show out. He's going to want to play to his best abilities. No excuses. And I'm very high on the Baltimore Ravens this year, even after losing Marquise Brown. I think they're going to be a dang good football team this year, and a lot of that is because of Lamar Jackson doing Lamar things, man. Don't get it twisted. He had a down year last year because of injuries. He's back. He's healthy. And he's going to be the same guy we thought of him 2 years ago.
Don't flip into the dang end zone again, Lamar.
Let's get flippy, man. Dunk on the goalpost, man. Get the pylon and start playing golf, man. Let's roll the bowling ball and knock over the pins, man. Let's do it again.
Heck yeah, brother. My number 3 is Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
I mean, you basically said everything. Yeah, he doesn't have Tyreek, but they restocked in a big way with a number of different wide receivers, rookies, veterans. you know, they got it all, man. It was so he won't be short of weapons, that's for sure. And he's just that guy, man. No look passes, things like that. He can run a little bit. Don't want to get it twisted. He may be pigeon-toed and cross-eyed, but it ain't that bad. The only thing that holds back Patrick Mahomes is Jackson Mahomes, man.
I knew it, man.
That guy needs to get off the field and get off his fanny and, stay away from the Chiefs, man, because that's the only guy that's going to really take down Patrick. At the end of the day, you can count on Patrick to, put up numbers for you, and that's what I like about him. That's why I think I have him over Lamar's. I can trust Patrick more, I think. I'm not going to get those dud games.
No.
You know what I mean? It's I just I trust him more.
Yeah. That's a best enough reason you can think of, man.
I think we have the same top two, no?
We probably do, yeah. But I was very close to moving Herbert to number 1. But Josh Allen's rushing ability is the only reason I don't have it that way.
Yeah, I have Herbert 2 and Josh Allen 1. And for the exact, I wanted to push J. Herb to the top, but 10 rushing touchdowns and all that, you can't really sleep on that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. They're similar, I would say, but Josh Allen just uses his legs more near the goal line. But the arm talent, the arm strength, the crazy throws, they're both mobile too. Mobile. More mobile than we'd think, So I think they're like hand in hand, but 1 and 2, what does it matter at the end of the day, man? They're both fantastic fantasy options, and I love them both.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Josh Allen. I know a lot of people, he's obviously our QB1, and a lot of people are drafting him in the 3rd round, maybe earlier, but there's going to be a day and time where Josh Allen isn't going to decide to run as much. And when that happens, when that year happens, he doesn't finish QB1, you regret the pick, and this and that. Hear me out. James Cook is a receiving back. They tried to sign J.D. McKissick. Obviously, they're trying to get some receiving. You know what that means.
Read the tea leaves, baby. I like where you're going.
Less rushing attempts for Josh Allen. They want to
protect him.
Dink and dunk.
Yeah.
Instead of taking off and running when it breaks down, hit James Cook hitting the flats. If you really think about it, Josh Allen's going to stop running one day. He's just going to decide, I can't do this. I got it. My arm's big. I can do all these things without having to take big hits or make them the last play. So
yeah, one big lick after one of them runs, and he's walking up and he's Taysom Hill. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they got to protect him, man. And I think he knows that as he ages, he can't live recklessly.
Right.
He's got to take care of his body. And I've been where I like this point. I didn't want to be the one that said it, but you brought it up, so I'm going to get into it a little bit. I've been wary of Josh Allen. I was wary of him last year, wary of him again. I think he's a good quarterback, but I'm not taking him where people are willing to take him. I'm not gonna get on my knees and beg him or bow down to him. I will not do that. There's only a select few that I would do that for, and it's not him.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I wouldn't go all the way. I think he's going to be just fine.
He'll be fine, but I don't know.
I would be shocked if he wasn't the QB1. I'm just saying there's going to be a point in time where he decides not to run as much. And it could be this year. It could be early as this year. I'm just not really – I don't know if I'm willing to take the gamble. But at the same time, if you're going to rank them, Josh Allen's the clear number 1, in my opinion.
I will not be surprised if he's not the QB1.
I wouldn't either. It could be injuries. It could be a lot of different things. But I do like an outside betting chance of Herbert finishing QB1 this year. And then, honestly, Lamar Jackson would be up there as well for me because he's going to be in for a big one.
That wraps up the quarterbacks.
Yes, sir.
Skiddly doop, skiddly doop, skiddly doop.
Ronk, ronk, ronk.
You want to go to the running backs?
I'd love to, man.
Oh, man, this is where it gets good, man. Quarterback's kind of boring to me.
Yeah, man, that's pretty easy, does it?
That's pretty chalk on it.
Let's get yellow flavor.
Yeah, man, I love the yellow flavor. Let's get it started. Let's get this party started the right way.
Yes, sir.
Number 10. You want to go or you want me to go?
I want you to go.
Number 10, Javonte Williams. Running back from the Denver Broncos. Yes, I expected that reaction from the crowd.
Tastes like belts.
very high on Javonte Williams. I think if you watched him last year, you've seen what this guy can do. He churns those legs. He's going to hit you hard. He gets low. I think his receiving capability is also underrated. And I think that Nathaniel Hackett's going to use him in a variety of different ways. And at some point, they're not going to want to take him off the field. Yes, they have Melvin Gordon. That scares people off. Don't let it scare you. This guy is a generational talent, I will say. And he's something special. And it's going to be, we're going to see another step forward for Javonte. So you can't really, one day he's going to be a top 3 running back we're talking about. But this is just the first step forward for him. That's why I pushed him into the top 10. High hopes, great offense. I like what they're going to do. The play action, they're going to use Russ well with Javonte and use Javonte to his strengths. And we're about to see them strengths, man. Javonte, number 10.
Yeah, I really like that, man. Javonte could be an all-timer. It just depends on what we see out of this new regime, this new coaching staff. But to me, if Javonte doesn't split the backfield 50-50 and he gets a huge chunk of this backfield work, he's finishing higher than 10. He's got top 5 upside, like you said. It's just a matter of predicting the splits. I think that's ultimately, it's not skill, it's not talent, it's obviously the opportunity is the only thing that's missing here. I really like you placing him at 10. I'm sure that's pretty high considered like what all the other industry guys have him at, but it could be low at the end of the year, you know what I mean? So I really like that.
Does that scare you?
Not at all.
The Melvin Gordon not laying down or anything?
No, not really, because I mean, if they're going to go toe-to-toe together on the field, I mean, Javonte Williams is going to show that he's better. 100% of Melvin versus 100% of Javonte. Javonte wins probably, 7 out of 10 times. But another thing for me, too, is they didn't sign Melvin Gordon soon. They let him go talk to Baltimore and probably some other teams before they decided to bring him back. So to me, that says they didn't have a sense of urgency to bring him back. If he would have signed to Baltimore, we're probably looking at this differently. But I think he just ultimately wanted to be in Denver.
I think Russ was a big reason.
And he probably wants to win. And so to me, like, not having a sense of urgency to bring back Melvin shows that they have a lot of confidence in Javonte being the guy. And like you said, a new regime, maybe they want to give him, 70, 80% of the snaps. So I really like it. I'm high on Javonte as well.
Who's your 10?
Number 10, I'm going to have Aaron Jones.
Whoa.
Aaron Jones. That might sound a little crispy with the A.J. Dillon hype.
Dude, my hair just got slicked back.
But I tell you what, man, even when A.J. Dillon was getting more carries last year and probably playing more snaps, Aaron Jones was still getting work. He was still scoring touchdowns. He was still catching passes. And so to me, like, the split concern isn't a big deal because Aaron Jones is going to get his bread catching 80-plus passes from Aaron Rodgers this year. He could, dude, like, with the amount of weapons they're lacking at receiver, like, it wouldn't even be that crazy if Aaron Jones led the team in targets, if you want to be completely honest. And I mean, his splits without Devontae Adams, he like doubles his fantasy points. So I think he goes from like 12 to like 20, 21 or something like that. So Aaron Jones is definitely someone I'm not off of. I know a lot of people have him low, like 13, 14. I even think 10 could be low. Like, honestly, the guy we drafted last year is a top 5 or 6 running back. He could easily be that guy this year with his receiving ability. And he's still a really good runner behind a good offensive line. And, I mean, A.J. Dillon obviously is a little bit of a thorn in the side, but at the end of the day, Aaron Jones is going to get a lot of work. And last year he dealt with injuries for like multiple weeks. Ankle sprain is no joke. So healthy Aaron Jones is one of the best running backs in the league, one of the best receiving backs, and he's on a good offense. So pretty easy to have him at 10.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but after going through,
why weren't you? You think 10's a little warm?
Yeah, just with the whole A.J. Dillon thing. But when you mention, him in the pass game and him in the red zone pass game in particular with Devontae not being there, I think that's huge. That's a very good point. But when he does, like you said, when he does get carries, he averages and it always seems like he rips off that big one,
Right.
But it's just worrisome. The less and less his carries got, the more A.J. Dillon's, the more trust they got in A.J. Dillon. It's worrisome, but I'm not gonna poo-poo your pick for top 10. I actually really respect it, and I liked your points. You kind of got me fading that way, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, though, Aaron Jones last year was a guy we were drafting 5th and 6th overall. I think I took him 6th overall, if I'm not mistaken, in a few leagues. He was a guy I loved. And, the talent is the same guy. He's still the same Aaron Jones he was last year, the year before. It's just A.J. Dillon's now getting 14 carries a game and, a couple red zone looks. But, dude, Aaron Jones is going to make his money through the air. And PPR leagues have PPR. That's big money dollars.
I like Aaron Jones, man. For my namesake, baby. Aaron.
Be in on Aaron Jones. You won't regret it.
Eric Bieniemy looks like one of those things from Star Wars.
Who do you have at 9?
I have Alvin Kamara, AK-47. What is he, 41? AK-41. What's his number?
41.
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's a black cloud looming over Alvin Kamara with suspension. This is if he does not get suspended. Maybe even higher. The Saints didn't do much for as far as signing or drafting running backs. They still have, what's his name, Tommy Lee Jones.
They signed Abram Smith. That's an undrafted free agent, but I really like him. They also have Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram's back?
He's still there, yeah.
Oh,
He's 33, though, so.
Yeah, they have Dennis Allen. I think
They did try to sign David Johnson, so maybe could be something about his suspension.
Yeah, they had their head coach is Dennis Allen, who's been with the Saints for a while now, so he knows what kind of talent, what Alvin Kamara can do for this football team, and he knows how vital and valuable he is in every asset, really, receiving, rushing. And I think they're going to, it would help. It's a tremendous help for Jameis to be able to check down. I know he doesn't, but they have a good offensive line. Alvin Kamara is too much of a talent to just be forgotten about or not used 20 times a game. You know what I mean? It's that would be sacrilegious for them to just, underutilize their best player on both sides of the ball, you know what I mean? So Alvin Kamara, people are forgetting about him, they're down about him, but not me. I have the utmost respect, and we've seen what this kid can do. So I have Alvin Kamara, AK-41, number 9.
Yeah, I have Alvin Kamara, number 9 too.
Oh yeah, we did it again.
But the only reason I have him 9 is the suspension. If there is no suspension and by training camp he gets cleared to play, no suspension,
he's 5.
He's top 5. He's up there with Cook and Eckler and Derrick Henry. No questions about it, man. He was a top 5 pick last year with no suspension. So, that's the only thing riding on him right now. But even if he misses 2 or 3 games, I still think he could be worthy of, still taking, top 10, top 12. Because it's just the talent, man. That dude has a knack for the end zone. His balance. He's a very special, talented running back in so many different ways. So I have him 9 too. But once we hear the reports on the suspension, then everything will change.
All clear.
Number 8.
Clear. He's alive.
I smelt it.
You want me to go?
Mm.
I got Nicholas Chubb.
You're lying.
Number 8.
Okay.
Did you have him higher?
Nope.
You don't have him on here?
No.
Oh, dude, that's sacrilegious.
Dude, it's your time.
Okay,
right
sorry. Nick Chubb. He's a monster running back. I think he's the best running back in the league. But this is fantasy football. And they signed Dearness Johnson. They still have Kareem Hunt. Yes, he doesn't get the receiving, but boy howdy, when they hand him the ball, he is making noise. He's making people feel it. He's going for 5 yards a carry. He's busting a 40-yard run. He's busting an 80-yard run. He's a sound fantasy player, and I think that's part of the reason I have him in the top 10. You can trust him to get in the end zone. I mean, yeah, he's kind of capped. I ain't going to lie to you. But the best running back in the NFL deserves to be top 10 in my fantasy ranking. So I have Nick Chubb in my number 8 in my top 10 for fantasy running backs.
Okay, I think it's fine. I wouldn't put him in the top 10.
You better watch your mouth when you talk to me.
I mean, he's probably going to get more work with Jacoby Brissett rather than Deshaun Watson. He's going to get more carries. But, what is he going to be able to... Is he going to catch passes?
You never know.
Is he going to score a lot of touchdowns?
Kareem Hunt's on the way out.
I'm worried about him. Dearness Johnson. He's got some competition back there as well. So
there is. It's not a competition, dude.
No,
He's
it's
the
not
best running back.
Those guys are shown that they can be good too. So
I think this is disrespectful.
No, Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league.
All right, who's your number 8?
DeAndre Swift.
Oh.
And this is too low. This is too low on DeAndre Swift. I was touting DeAndre Swift last year as being a breakout player. No one believed in him because he was dealing with a groin injury throughout training camp. He fell. He was more of a 5th, 6th round running back. But DeAndre Swift is a special player, man. You got to bet on that talent. He's healthy coming into the year. He's put on some weight. That dude looks jacked. Go take a look at him when you get the chance. Last year I was in on him, and he showed he could be a good player, but it was a year early. This is the year to get DeAndre Swift in your fantasy leagues. He's going to break fantasy football. He has the upside to be the number 1 running back in the NFL in fantasy. Don't get it twisted. He has the most yards per catch. It's like something crazy. He catches a ton. The Lions got better, which could mean more scoring opportunities. There's just so much riding on Swift. He's going to get more carries. His backup's Jamal Williams. And they got a new regime, a new offensive coordinator. So Jamal Williams could be absolutely nothing. And DeAndre Swift at number 8 could be too low. But just going into the season, I'll have him at 8. I'm going to have him on a bunch of teams.
Is DeAndre Swift built for this?
Yes.
Is he big enough?
Yeah.
To be a 3-down back?
Mm-hmm.
Can he handle this workload?
Yeah, go look at a picture of him.
I haven't seen him lately, but...
he showed it at Georgia, too, man.
He was an honorable mention for me.
No, he's got to be on there, dude.
He was honorable mention.
Come on.
You know how I feel, man.
About what, though?
We've been talking about DeAndre Swift for a while now. I'm trying to love him.
You're going to regret that.
We'll see. I might.
Wait, what do you not like about him, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know if he's built for it, dude. I've seen him drop a game-winning touchdown in the end zone. Injuries scare me. The Lions as a whole scare me. They're paying Jamal Williams. What is he, a 3-year, like pretty hefty amount? He's not just going to go away.
He's not very good.
Yeah, he's not very. I mean, he's not as good as DeAndre Swift, but he's still going to take away from
No,
Swift. They
dude,
paid him.
You shouldn't be worried about Jamal Williams. If the reason you're scared of Swift is Jamal Williams, you got it all wrong.
I'm scared of his injury. I'm scared of a lot of things. But I like him. I like him a lot. He'd probably be 11 for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. That's too low, but I'm just saying, man, DeAndre Swift is the guy you want this. You want him on your fantasy team. I said this last year. You have to go get him. Like, don't make excuses. Take him in the first round. Be happy with it.
Don't take him in the first round, second round.
First round if you have to.
You ever seen a turkey vulture?
If the 7 guys or 8 guys are off the board in front of him, get Swift. You won't regret it. I promise.
What are we on? 7?
Yes.
Najee Harris, the running back from Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right. Okay.
People are a little worried. They announced that he's not going to get as many touches, but boy howdy, I'm glad to hear that. He was getting way too many touches. He's getting scary. I think they're gonna lessen his load to where it's yeah, it's not a crazy number, but it's still going to be a workhorse number. That's why I don't know why people are freaking out. He's going to catch. He's going to run. He's going to be the focal point of the offense. He looks fantastic this year. He looks like a stallion that's been bred in the Paraguayan farms of an Argentinian village. He looks incredible. I'm excited for Najee. And people, they're going to cut his touches in half. My butt. They're going to take off 20 touches, 30, 50. Give Benny Snell at least some kind of run. I mean, literally, Najee didn't leave the field for most of the year. And you can't have that. You put all those miles on your rookie running back, so they're going to lessen the load just a wee bit. But I don't think it's enough to scare me off, at least. And I really like Najee. 7.
Yeah, I've got Najee at number 7 as well.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pimple peppers.
And I wanted to put Swift above Najee. That's kind of my big debate right now. Najee's going to get the work. He's going to get the load. But he was not efficient last year as a runner. I think he was like 60th in terms of yards per carry.
Inefficient.
3.4 yards per carry or something. Not good. But the amount of touches kind of screws it up. But still, I mean, even if they, lighten his workload a tiny bit more and he is a little bit more efficient, the numbers are still going to be similar to what he did last year. And he was fantastic last year. So, I don't know why I have him down at 7 because he's a guy that should be up, 3, 4, 5. But maybe it's the offensive line didn't do much to improve it.
Yes.
I mean, the quarterback play, if it improves from Ben Roethlisberger to, if Mitch Trubisky or Pickett can show that they are better than Big Ben was last year, I mean, that could help him with efficiency. But another thing, too, is Big Ben will love throwing it to Najee. We don't know if Trubisky's going to love checking it down as much. I mean, Najee was catching balls left and right every game. And I don't think we see that type of reception work. I mean, obviously he's going to catch a ton of passes, but I think that gets brought back down a little bit this year. So I think that's what pulls him down for me. And then the touchdown opportunities in that offense might not be super high. So I have him at number 7 as well.
Preach, preacher.
That's yours.
Oh, he lost me there. All right. 6. I know we got the same one, boy, because we think the same. Joe Mixon. Go ahead. You got him?
Do I?
Yeah.
What do you think if you had to guess?
Yeah. I would say yes, you have Joe Mixon at 6.
And I would say that you are correct, sir.
Yes, sir. So, we can rattle it off a little bit. Joe Mixon, workhorse on a good offense. I expect him to have a better year than last year. I think he started to unlock things at the end of the year. I think he's become the man that we once thought Joe Mixon could become, both on and off the field. His catching ability is a plus. He's a good runner. He's going to get goal line. Like, it's just everything you dream of. When you fall asleep and you think of a workhorse, sometimes Joe Mixon pops up in my head. Man, he's sleeping with a little tiger. So Joe Mixon's like a dream fantasy guy. That's what I got on JoJo.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it, man. Great offense, a lot of scoring opportunities. He catches passes, offensive upgrade. What more could you ask for in a workhorse running back like Joe Mixon, man? He can do it all. That's easy. I wanted to put him at number 5, man, but I don't know, man. I feel like I can get him at 6, man. 6 is a good spot. Is his real name Joseph?
Oh, yeah.
Good for him.
Joseph Mixon.
Oh, it's fast, yes.
Oh, he whimsically walks down the path of righteousness.
All right, man. Number 5.
Come on, man. Tell me you got the same one.
I'm sure we do.
If you're a real one.
Is he big?
Yeah, he's big and he's slow, but he's fast. Derrick Henry.
Mushin Muhammad.
Wrong position.
No problem.
You got Derrick?
I have Derrick, man, but I wanted to put Joe over Derrick. Is that controversial?
No, I was thinking the exact same thing. Derrick, I mean, he is who he is. He's a good running back. Right. Second best in the league in terms of
interesting
skill. I'm just, I mean, if you've been listening to this podcast the last couple of years, you know how I feel. You know, one day these 90-yard runs aren't going to happen. It's like he's like a pickaxe and he's picking through a brick wall and he gets that one hole and he's gone and that saves his whole fantasy day. But other than that, he's averaging like 3 yards a carry. It bothers me, but he's good, and I will take him if I have to in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the magic of Derrick Henry. That 90
magic to me, man.
That 90-yard run happens in the fourth quarter because he just absolutely works down the defense throughout the whole game. And it's like on his 24th carry, he hits like a 70, 80-yard, 90-yard touchdown run because he's just bruising the team.
And then his stats just are all beautiful.
Yeah, but that's all part of the plan. That's all part of the Derrick Henry magic, dude. I mean,
I can't live like that.
Like in the first half, we'll have like 14 carries, 54 yards, maybe a touchdown. And then the second half, that's when you can tell, like, the defense is just tired of hitting Derrick Henry all game.
This is how I.
But that's just how it is. Like, maybe that's how it's gonna be. You know.
This is how I like whenever I'm looking at my fantasy running backs during their games. If they're ripping off 5-yard carries, 7-yard carries, 8-yard carries, like, okay, this is gonna be a good game. If it's that Stonewall, a lot of 0 yards, 1 yards, 2 yards, negative. I'm like, oh gosh. But for Derrick Henry, he could have those 1-2 negative yards the whole game, and he busts that one. You're like, okay. But usually, it's like what is it?
But he'll do that thing.
Testing the water, seeing what's going on.
He'll do that a lot, but then he'll have like a drive where he'll go like 8, 14, 12, 7, you know, and then score the touchdown.
It's hard for me to read that.
I don't know
if he's gonna have a good game.
The reason I have Derrick Henry at 5 is not because of his abilities. It's more of his foot injury. He still has screws in his foot. They lost A.J. Brown, more attention to the running game on defense, stacked boxes, and he doesn't catch passes.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, he's going to be a freak. There's no way I could imagine taking him outside of the top 5. And a lot of people like drafting him at number 2. I'm not going to fault you for that because he's a guy that can get 18 rushing touchdowns in the reception, and the receiving game doesn't even matter. But the loss of A.J. Brown does hurt him because of stacked boxes now, but it also could help him in terms of him maybe getting more receptions, if you have thought about that. And with A.J. Brown gone, maybe he could get more looks.
I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath on that. But yeah, like you said, Derrick Henry's too good to let, be outside the top 5.
Yeah,
if we're being honest here, man. Right. Number 4, I have Austin Eckler, the running back for the Los Angeles Chargers, man. Mm-hmm. People are very high, 3, 2. There's a lot of leeway with this guy. He's either really high or too low. But I like him at 4. With his receiving ability, his goal line efficiency, he's just a really good running back all the way around in that high-powered offense. I don't see a lot that can go wrong with Eckler other than injury, but besides that, I mean, he's a dream come true, and he can do everything. And I love him between the tackles too. He's a hard runner. I just like everything that Austin Eckler can produce for fantasy for you in all these different ways. Receiving touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and a beautiful offense with a beautiful quarterback. You can't ask for much more. You know what I mean? So Austin Eckler I have at number 4.
Well done.
Sí, Perico.
I've got Dalvin Cook at 4.
Oh, man, you just buttered my butt.
I like Dalvin Cook, man. I think this is the year to get Dalvin Cook. Me and Aaron have kind of been on him since the beginning of the offseason. It was kind of funny. We brought him up at the gym, like, together. I was like, you know who I'm really liking this year? Dalvin Cook. And you're like, yeah, dude, me too, man.
Yes, sir. True story.
I'd love to put him at number 2, maybe 3. But obviously there's injury concern. It's a new offensive coordinator. Alexander Madison could get more work. But the reports of him lining up at slot, they're trying to get him used more as a receiver, is super enticing just because of how dangerous he can be in the open field. And obviously in PPR and half PPR, you get those reception points. So it only helps. And he's a special talent. He's another home run hitter. He can take one play to the house, So Dalvin Cook at 4 is pretty easy. But he's another guy that could finish RB1 pretty easily this year with that reception work as well. And a much improved Minnesota team.
Yes, and leading into my number 3 is Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
I love Dalvin Cook. For all the reasons you mentioned, I just have so many bad memories of playing Dalvin Cook and him just... I mean, it's inevitable that he's going to have a good game. If he doesn't get injured, he's going to put up numbers. It's receiving, running. It's everything, and he's really good at everything he does. And the offense he's a focal point, and they can't just stack the box. They have Justin Jefferson out there. I mean, Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. You can't go wrong with Dalvin, boy. So I love him. Number 3, man. I really, really love him.
Wow. So you would take him 3 overall?
Yes.
I like it. Number 3 for me, obviously, Austin Eckler.
Flip-flop.
Flip those guys around and you still get little men.
Yeah, they're small.
Not really. They're kind of little.
Austin Eckler's a little person.
Yeah, they're little, actually.
Like,
Dalvin Cook's little.
He's registered on, the little person radar.
He could be, but I'll tell you what, he knows how to play the football game.
I'll tell you what.
Austin Eckler, dude, what is there to say about Austin Eckler? I mean, we all know who he is. We all know what he does. He's on one of the most high-powered offenses in the league, like Aaron said. He has a knack for the end zone. He's got a knack for the football with receptions. He's even a pretty good in between the tackles runner.
I tell you what, man, people don't see that, but man, he's good at that.
He's good. He's shifty,
Very
nifty,
good.
dude.
Yeah.
Even with the poor offensive line they've had the last 2 or 3 years, he finds a way to get in there and, make off some chunk plays. But now they've got a better offensive line. They've got Herbert, another year in the offense. Shoot, they're in Los Angeles, man. You got to be special. And Austin Eckler is a special player.
Sun's out, buns out.
80 catches, 12, 14, 16 touchdowns. Austin Eckler, number 3.
Shoot, he's little, but he holds his head high.
It's bald, too.
I tell you what, he looks like handsome squid.
Do you think being bald with a helmet gives you an advantage?
I feel like it's a disadvantage that it will slide off when you get sweaty on your head.
What about sweaty hair, though? Isn't that kind of slide off?
I think you have a better chance of keeping it on with sweaty hair.
Okay.
A little grip there. But it looks like we have the same top 2 again.
Does he wear a do-rag?
Nah, the last time I checked, he was wearing straight baldness.
Respect, dude.
Dude, he lets it hang, bro.
Yeah,
he
that's
lets
good
it
work.
fly in the. Because I remember one game, it was cold. It was in Denver. He took off his helmet, and that head was glistening, and smoke was coming off because it was cold, and he was so hot. It was like an amazing experience to witness firsthand.
That's miracle weather.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was like, I don't know, I can't really describe it. But here we are again. Me and Luke have the same top 2, it looks like.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, you got Darius Sanders too?
Nope.
You have Darius Sanders 1?
Nope.
You don't have Darius Sanders at all?
No, I've got Darius Sanders number 2, as you do. I was trying to throw you off.
Barry Bonds, baby.
Darius Sanders, man.
Yeah.
Christian
McCaffrey.
The white menace.
Ooh, the white man.
The white mamba.
Yeah, he's people are down on him from injury history and stuff, but it looks like they're taking care of him this year. No preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Take it easy because he already knows everything. He knows what's going on.
They finally realized they got someone else to, burn his toast for him in the morning, butter his biscuits in the morning. He no longer has to do that on his own.
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair while everyone does everything for him. They push him around. That's how valuable he is. Because, dang, you put him on that football field between the 20s, even inside the 20s, man, that guy, he's catching balls. He's running with reckless abandon. That guy is an amazing athlete. So, I mean, you can be down on him all you want, say injury this, Panthers stink. He's going to, dude, the offense is Christian McCaffrey. Look at the playbook. Christian this, Christian right, Christian left, Christian center. That's it, man. That's all you're going to see because that's all it takes, man. And having someone like that on your team it's a gosh darn miracle and a blessing to have that kind of talent and that kind of workload that you can expect game in and game out. So I'm right back in on him, man. I wouldn't mind if I took him number one, dude. If I got a little zealous.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for Jonathan Taylor's season last year and the injury to Christian McCaffrey, I mean, he's the no-brainer number one. I mean, dude, stop with all this. I'm not taking McCaffrey. No McCaffrey. Injuries. But, I mean, dude, what is he doing with a hamstring and a sprained ankle? He can avoid those things. Those aren't things that are going to keep reappearing. I mean, he's healthy. He's been practicing. He looks juiced. And, oh, my gosh, go watch Christian McCaffrey play football and tell me you're not going to take him with the top 2 pick when he's playing. You're out of your gosh darn mind. Yeah, I don't care if you're scared of him. If you watch him play, you'll never think, I'm not drafting him in the top. I'm taking him in the end of the first, in the second round. Yeah, well, you're out of your mind because he's going number 2 because he's an automatic 24 points. I mean, dude, that 1 year, 3 years ago when he was RB1, it was nothing but 25 plus points. And that was a stink offense. They're going to stink, but it doesn't matter. Like you said, it's Christian McCaffrey show. Even if the offense stinks, he's so gosh darn good at football that he's going to find a way to produce big money dollars, man.
Yeah, it's not like he got a lobotomy or like an amputation, dude. He's dealing with not major injuries, not even torn ligaments, I don't think.
I don't think so.
So, I mean, pick him and let him ride. That's what I say.
Or don't pick him and sulk in your own sweat.
Yeah, you'll be tearing up at night.
Your choice, man. Number 1, Jonathan Taylor.
JT, baby.
It's about as easy as it gets.
I mean, I think, people think that with Matt Ryan it could hinder him, but no. It's quite the opposite, my friend. It's going to open up that run game, man. Carson Wentz is competent, don't get me wrong, but Matt Ryan is Matty Ice, man. He puts a little more fear in the secondary, a little more fear in the linebackers. He knows how to the play action will be incredible, and that just opens up things for Jonathan Taylor, who is literally, if you saw him in the street, you would stop and marvel and say, God is good, because that creature is a beautiful man. And he's just like powerful. Like, I've never seen a combination of power and grace, and I don't know, it's amazing. This doesn't sound like a fantasy football show, but it is. But Jonathan Taylor, number 1, easy, catches, runs, powerful, just everything you need, plus more.
Yep, you said
Eats Lunchables for breakfast.
It's pretty easy, man. He's the first guy off the board in every single draft, no matter what.
It's simple, man. Just add mayonnaise.
Yep. I mean, if you look at him, man, you can just tell, man, that guy's good at the game.
What's next on the agenda?
Ooh, will you go through your running backs, 10 through 1, for me, please?
Yeah, let me get on that. 10, Javonte Williams. 9, Alvin Kamara. 8, Nick Chubb. 7, Najee Harris. 6, Joe Mixon. 5, Derrick Henry. 4, Austin Eckler. 3, Dalvin Cook. 2, Christian McCaffrey. 1, Jonathan Taylor.
Okay, and then for me, it's 10, Aaron Jones. 9, Alvin Kamara. 8, DeAndre Swift. 7, Najee Harris. 6, Joe Mixon. 5, Derrick Henry. 4, Dalvin Cook. 3, Austin Eckler. 2, Christian McCaffrey. 1, Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh, we're in some synchronicity.
Top 10 receivers for 2022, man. Let me hear number 10, man.
Deebo Samuel at 10. It was between Deebo or Tyreek Hill. I was going to put one of these dynamic guys, number 10.
You're letting them flip, huh?
I'm having them... so you could really put Deebo / Tyreek, but it doesn't matter. I have Deebo 10. I just think with all this controversy and stuff, I don't know if Deebo wants to be the running back utility guy. He wants to be known as a wide receiver. Injury history is very iffy. Trey Lance is a young quarterback. I think that the expectations are too high for Deebo, but I still think he'll put up numbers. So I'm not the biggest Debo fan, and this isn't like a smearing campaign against him. I just think they're not a lot of. I don't have a good feeling about Debo this year, but still putting him in the top 10 is, he can put up numbers. I'm just not. I'm not letting all this fool's gold get in the way of my main goal is to, produce a really good fantasy football team. So I'm gonna be honest with you, Debo probably won't be on my team, but. Neither will Tyreek Hill. Those are just things that I wanted to throw in there. It's a fool's gold, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm with you to a certain extent. With Debo, though, it's kind of hard what to expect. But, for me, it's just the whole Trey Lance, getting a whole different QB. And, like you said, the whole maybe he doesn't want to run as much. I still expect him to be a runner if he's on the Niners a little bit. But not like he was last year. For 10 for me, this is a little spicy, but Mike Williams is my 10th receiver.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I got him over Keenan Allen. Some guys that missed out on number 10 is Keenan Allen, T. Higgins, Deontay John, A.J. Brown. But Mike Williams is my 10th receiver, and I'm in on him big time. I think we saw a little bit last year. He kind of took the number one role from Keenan Allen, and I expect things to get even better.
Holy matrimony.
Yeah, why not, dude? He's
What do you mean he took the role of number one over from Keenan
Maybe
Allen?
not completely, but in certain weeks he definitely did. I have Keenan Allen 11, so they're 10 and 11. You can match them, switch them, flip them. But to me, I think could be the year we see Mike Evans kind of be a freak. He's a physical specimen, size, speed.
You mean Mike Williams?
Sorry, Mike Williams.
They're similar.
And last year they used him more in an intermediate role rather than just straight downfield. And if they continue to use him in that role, I only expect bigger and better things. Because Josh Allen's a young quarterback, or Josh Herbert's a young quarterback, and he could easily, magnate towards Mike Williams as Keenan Allen gets older. He's, a bigger target, probably more talented at this stage of his career physically, and he has the potential to score poop-loaded touchdowns. They don't really have a red zone weapon outside of Eckler like that. He could easily, we could see 12 to 14 touchdowns and finish a top 10 receiver. So I have him at number 10, man.
Dang, that's crazy, man. I respect it, man.
Do you respect that?
I respect it to a certain extent. I don't know about top 10, and I don't know about taking the number one away from Keenan Allen.
You remember in the other podcast where I mentioned Allen Robinson would be in my top 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've taken that back. I've slowed down on that. So maybe I'll slow down on Mike Williams too. But as of right now.
No, man. I know you're really high on him. Well, to be honest, what do we know?
We don't know, gosh darn it.
That's what I'm saying. So, respect. We can have continuous dialogue on this subject because there's gonna be a lot going on.
Because hypothetically speaking, if he does emerge as Herbert's number one option, what better duo or what better quarterback and what offense would you prefer than Herbert in the Chargers offense? Being the number one.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad pick at all. I actually enjoy it.
Okay.
Because I really like Mike Williams. I'm up on him too, just like you.
Okay.
And I think he's being slept on.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, Michael Pittman.
Dang it.
You have him?
Yeah.
Michael Pittman, wide receiver for the Colts, man. I think with the Matt Ryan, the ceiling is very, very high for Michael Pittman. It get probably having flashbacks of Julio Jones. Matt Ryan is, with a big body wide receiver, good downfield, good hands, can do a little bit of everything with this high-powered offense. Play action with Jonathan Taylor and Pittman running a go or something, open up everything, man. It's going to be crazy. Michael Pittman's talented. He emerged last year, but this year he ascends to top 10 wide receiver in fantasy football, baby.
Wow, man, that's crazy. I have him at 9 as well. Isn't that crazy how that works?
Small world, dude.
I think we're both super high on him, though. That's very rich. Because he's probably more of a 12 to 14 range from what I've seen.
Say top 15.
But like everything you said is correct, and I've been on when we talked about the Colts and Matt Ryan. We were making a lot of cases for Michael Pittman being similar to Julio Jones, with Matt Ryan now being there, and just putting up numbers on this Colts. I think we're both super high on this Colts offense, this Colts team as a whole this year. Stay tuned for the previews. But yeah, dude, Michael Pittman is about to feast. What he did with an inaccurate Carson Wentz to now getting one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history. And Matt Ryan still got some juice. He'll be the number one target for Matt Ryan. Big body. Really, really, really good. Size-adjusted type of guy. He's got speed. He can do a lot of things. Good route runner. And he's just a really gosh darn good player. So I have him 10. Or 9 as well.
Number 8, I have Keenan Allen.
Wow.
Yes, hear me out. Third year, Justin Herbert. I think third year, Justin Herbert's going to mature. And to me, Keenan Allen is the perfect wide receiver for a maturing quarterback. With the intricate routes he runs, with his timing, he can beat anyone. And I think that the biggest leap that Keenan Allen will take this year is the red zone. Touchdown catches. They're going to Justin Herbert, the game's going to slow down, and that's perfect for Keenan Allen to do his intricate, let the play develop. That's Keenan Allen's thing, and hit him like it. Most of the time he's wide open in the end zone, but it takes a while for the play to develop, him to get off the line of scrimmage and stuff. But I think this is the year that they're on the same level in terms of maturity, and like it's like a blossoming, beautiful thing. Like a lot of times the Mike Williams stuff is a chunk, a long ball or whatever, but Keenan's more of a precision, and I think Justin Herbert's gotten to the point where he's going to be able to unlock Keenan Allen as like a Phillip Rivers or something like that. Like he's such a special talent that I think Herbert will realize it and see it, and it'll be a beautiful thing. And I think Keenan Allen has a career year.
Wow.
Both yards and touchdowns. Like he's going to be amazing.
He might be higher than 9.
Huh?
For
career.
8. Oh, 8. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I respect that a lot. Like you said, it's still Keenan Allen, freak. He's still a freak. Still the number one option there. I do expect big things from him as well. So I really like that. Number 8 for me. I don't love it, but you have to have him in here, man. It's Tyreek Hill.
Oh, Cheetah!
I'm banking on Tua improving. But ultimately, having Tyreek Hill at number 8 is just a home run hit. He's a guy, the most electric player in the NFL. He can have huge games, 200-yard games. He can take every single catch can be a touchdown from Tyreek Hill. And, he got paid. He's probably not as driven. But still, if Tua's going to be a good quarterback, I expect Tyreek Hill to still be a top 10 fantasy receiver. He's not going to be 1, 2, or 3 like he has in the past, but definitely a slight regression. I have him at number 8, but he's still definitely someone I'm interested in. Just solely based on him being that home run hitter. It's hard to just say no to that,
Yeah, I agree. What was it? 7.
Number 7.
7, I have Mike Evans.
Okay.
From the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not a lot has to be said, man. When he plays with Tom Brady, he's a touchdown magician. Long balls. He's just, you can count on him. And he'll have those games with 3, like Tom Brady will lock in. And that's something you'd love to see, get a quarterback locked in on a wide receiver. That's Mike Evans. And Tom Brady locks in on him in certain games. It's not an every week thing, but it's a majority of the time thing. So I have Mike Evans locked and loaded, number 7.
I have Mike Evans at number 7 as well. With the same things that you said, touchdown machine, number 1 option for Tom Brady. Big weeks, spike weeks. But he's just such a good fantasy player, man. I mean, even if he has one of those games where he only catches 3 balls for 40, I mean, you're already, he's going to have a touchdown in that game, man. He just, he finds a way to resurrect your, fantasy game, even if he's not performing. So just having that safe floor, he's got a super pretty safe floor, but along with a super crazy high upside, linked with Tom Brady, it's just pretty easy. And if Chris Godwin were to continue to miss time, that's just even more milkier for Mike Evans. So I got him at number 7 as well.
Number 6, I have CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
From the Dallas Cowboys. Amari Cooper jumped ship, went to Cleveland. CeeDee Lamb is now the Cowboys' number 1 option and a high-powered offense. Good quarterback. We've seen the talent from CeeDee. Spectacular catches. He's a speed merchant. I think this is a big year for CeeDee.
Right. Number 6 for me is Devontae Adams.
What?
Yeah, I've got him at number 6.
What did he say?
Which is kind of wild, man, because we've seen him put up receiver 1 numbers multiple times. But that was with one of the best quarterbacks of this generation. He no longer has that. He's got his, shower twin. His shower buddy, man, from college. Fresno State, man, they were taking showers together, got a lot of rapport together. And having him here at number 6 is more of just the unknown of what's going to happen in Las Vegas with Derek Carr. I mean, I expect him to be a really good player still. Nothing's going to change. But in terms of his upside, I'm just not too sure. With Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow still there, Josh McDaniels, he's still going to have a great year. I definitely believe that. I'm just not sure of how high of an upside does he truly have here in Las Vegas. And it's just more of the uncertainty of not seeing this offense yet.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to be unsure. 6, though?
Yeah, I like these 5 guys more, I think.
Who you got 5?
CeeDee Lamb.
Ooh.
Everything you mentioned, man. Why should we be lower on CeeDee Lamb after they just lost their number 1 target in Amari Cooper? They added a rookie in Jalen Tolbert. They added a 4th-string receiver in James Washington. Michael Gallup's not even healthy. They have Dalton Schultz. That's about it, dude. I mean, Dak's number 1 target is CeeDee Lamb. He's a guy that could easily see 150-plus targets this year. Like I said in the last podcast, this is kind of like a make or break in terms of CeeDee becoming a true superstar in this league, and I expect him to be a superstar this year. I expect him to show out. He can play on the inside. He can play on the outside. He doesn't have game-breaking speed or anything, but his contested catches, his hands are surefire. He makes crazy plays. And just being the number 1 offense in this very fast-paced, high-powered Dallas Cowboys offense is easy money. Breakout year for CeeDee Lamb. Everyone's in on him. I'm in on him as well. Receiver 5.
I like that. For my receiver 5, I have Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
For everything you mentioned before, just uncertainty. But I think the chemistry with him and Derek Carr is going to be fine. I think there's going to be some growing pains.
Okay.
New coach, new system, all that. But I think it might be a slow start for Devontae. But I think he'll put up Devontae numbers at the end of the day. It's not a slide on him. It's just a new situation, man. We got to feel it out, man. Put our feelers out there like a praying mantis, man. For number 4, who you got?
We got Stephon Diggs.
Oops, we did it again.
You have him too?
I got Stephon Diggs, number 4.
You want to talk about him?
Yeah. The Bills' offense, the number 1, great route runner. He the thing I love about Stephon Diggs is he's not a one-trick pony. He's not a deep ball guy. He's going to catch the deep ball. Yeah, he's a broken play. Josh Allen, hits him long. Intermediate, fine. Short, he gets a lot of receptions. He's going to get those receptions. For half-point PPR, he's beautiful in every way. He's just a stud, and There's not one thing he's limited. He's not limited in any category of the field, if you will. He's good short. He's good intermediate. He's good red zone. He's good long. It is what it is. It's Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I really love Stephon Diggs this year. I said DeAndre Swift is my must-get running back. Stephon Diggs is my must-get receiver this year.
Oops, he let it slip.
At least in like the top tiers. And I say that because so much hype around CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, and Stephon Diggs gets lost in the shuffle. But he should be in that conversation, if not at the top of that conversation. The Bills' offense is one of his top 3 offense in the league. He's the number 1. He's one of the best overall receivers in the whole game of the game. And last year was kind of a down year, so people were kind of sleeping on him. But I expect Stephon Diggs to get back up there. I wouldn't be shocked if we see him lead the NFL in receptions and yards like he did 2 years ago. We could see him get straight back to being the guy that he was 2 years ago, being a top 3 fantasy receiver. And, why? I don't understand why people were kind of, pushing Stephon Diggs off like he's not a first round type of receiver, because he absolutely is, man.
If we're not supposed to eat midnight snacks, why is there a light in the refrigerator?
So I can find my way.
Number 3, Cooper Kupp.
I like that.
Los Angeles Rams. He had put up historic numbers last year. However, the Rams have went out and got Allen Robinson, who is formerly an All-Pro.
The GOAT.
A freak, a big boy. He's healthy. He's ready to go. It's not an OBJ situation. And I think Stafford's going to really like him. I think.
Oh, yeah, we're Team Robinson over here, man.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp is going to have a fine year. He's still going to be a studly stud and put up crazy numbers, but just those astronomical numbers will not be touched by Cooper Kupp this year. There's a little cap on it considering they have Allen Robinson. And, Cooper Kupp's number 3 for me.
That's low, man. That's but I can see it, man. There should be some regression. But, I have Jamar Chase number 3. But, these top 3 guys are all rich in flavor, man. They're the juiciest of the juiciest you can find if you're going to go receiver early. And Jamar Chase, man, he's special. He did it last year, man. He's got Joey B throwing to him. He's a home run hitter. I don't know. Is he going to be better than last year? That's the tough question, man, because I do think it's possible. A lot of offensive upgrades. They're not going to slow it down. And, Jamar Chase, obviously, he's got T. Higgins, fighting for targets, fighting for reps. But Jamar Chase is the go-to guy, and number 3.
For number 2, I went to the restricted area of the library and found some things that led me to this conclusion. Number 2, I have Jamar Chase. Yeah, let that marinate, Lou. Let him marinate a little more. Jamar Chase, the reason I have him at number 2 is the nose for the end zone. I don't think that's a fluke. I think he is a guy that's going to score touchdowns, whether it be 70 yards. I think he's going to become a guy you can throw a fade to. I think he's going to be that guy. He's going to be the go-to guy. And touchdowns are invaluable in fantasy football. They mean everything. 6 points, however your league plays it. But I think Jamar Chase has just got that knack for the end zone. And it's not taught. It's not learned. It's just something that you're born with. And that's Jamar Chase. Big plays. He got Joey B. I just love it. Like I said, I wouldn't have done this before I went to the library. But I went to the library, and this is what I stumbled upon, Lou.
Wow. Must have been a magical library you went in, man.
I saw the thing.
You went in on 2 and left on all 4s, man.
I tell you what, man, I was scrolling down.
That's funny, man, because I think we're going to have the same top, man, because number 2 for me is Cooper Kupp.
Ooh, nice.
Cooper Kupp, number 2, man.
You went chalk on it.
Yeah, man, I think it's definitely reasonable to expect him to regress. But, regress to how much, I mean, he's still with Stafford. He's in the same offense. He's still the focal point. He's still going to get a whole bunch of looks. He's another guy that has a knack for an end zone as well. You mentioned with Jamar Chase. Cooper Kupp is a magnet around there, red zone, anywhere, man. So, I mean, I do expect him to regress, but not come back to earth. I still think he's going to be one of those unstoppable type of guys. He's going to get a lot of double teams, but it doesn't matter, man. He's a top-tier receiver. In all honesty, he should probably be receiver 1, but the regression is going to hit.
Number 1 wide receiver,
Justin
Jefferson. Wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, man. We've seen him, last 2 years just emerge as a superstar. And I think the year 3 is that year where he puts up insane astronomical numbers. He's the go-to guy on the Vikings, Kirk Cousins' favorite. All the things you want to see out of, Justin Jefferson. There's not much you can critique on his game. If anything, you just shower him with praise because that guy, he's got it, man. He's built for this. And he's meant to be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football in 2022.
Yep, I'm with you on him, man. He's this year's Cooper Kupp. He's this year's player. You expect him to have a great season, but he just blows it out of the water. He blows your expectations. He exceeds your expectations in fantasy, and it becomes uncoverable. He's going to be absolutely impossible to stop in this new offense. It's a new and improved offense. Kirk Cousins is going to have a field day out here with Cook and Jefferson. And, yeah, man, I mean, this is I wouldn't even say a heavy projection with Kupp being number 2 for me, but we're both super in on Justin Jefferson this year. And we could be projecting a little bit, but he's in store for a big season, man. Get Justin Jefferson.
Luke, can I ask you a question?
No.
Have you ever dove into a body of water that was there was a lot of salt in it?
Body of water? Yeah, I did, and my head got stuck in the sand.
What happened to you when you dove into the water?
Head first, sand, underwater. Ears got full of chalk. Came up out of water, and I was in one of those dive tank suits.
All right, I'm just going to tell a story. Because I don't know where you went swimming, dude. That sounds pretty gnarly, I'm not going to lie.
Mariana Trench.
Story. Yeah. When you dive into a body of water that is a lot of salt, you immediately come back to the surface. And with Justin Jefferson, I find myself trying to dive away from him being number 1. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm, projecting what I want to be onto Justin Jefferson. But every time I'm diving away, I'm brought back up to the surface where I know and I'm comfortable saying Justin Jefferson is that guy in purple.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Tight ends?
Tight ends.
Yeah, we'll run through these.
Oh, man, I got some good ones.
Who you got at 10?
Albert O.
Wait, go through 1 through 10 for receiver.
I'm sorry, this is for wide receiver. Number 10, Debo/Tyreek Hill. 9, Michael Pittman. 8, Keenan Allen. 7, Mike Evans. 6, CeeDee Lamb. 5, Devontae Adams. 4, Stephon Diggs. 3, Cooper Kupp. 2, Jamar Chase. 1, Justin Jefferson.
Nice. 10, Mike Williams. 9, Michael Pittman. 8, Tyreek Hill. 7, Mike Evans. 6, Devontae Adams. 5, CeeDee Lamb. 4, Stephon Diggs. 3, Jamar Chase. 2, Cooper Kupp. 1, Justin Jefferson.
See.
Some bald.
Tight ends, nah.
Number 10.
Albert O.
Ooh, that's good.
Tight end for the Denver Broncos. He's attending tight end university this summer. They say he's made leaps and bounds. He's built like he was made in a Frankenstein movie. There's just a lot Russell Wilson's throwing to him. He tends to love tight ends. I think he's perfect for Russell as well. And I don't think there's a whole bunch of people that would agree with me on this one. They have him kind of in the lower tier. But I got Albert O cracking the top 10. Zach Ertz. There's a McBride guy in Arizona, a rookie from Colorado State. I think you guys need to pump your brakes on Ertz a little bit. Don't mind me just talking my mind.
Yeah, I respect it. Albert O could be in for a good one.
You got Ertz 10, huh?
Yeah, I do have Ertz 10.
Oh, chalk zone.
But at number 11, I have Cole Kmet. He's a guy I wanted to put at number 10 because he's a guy, is the breakout tight end this year. Don't draft a tight end and pick up Cole Kmet. He's going to win your football league. Number 10, Zach Ertz. Pretty easy. He's reliable. They signed him to a contract extension. He's darn good receiving tight end. DeAndre Hopkins is out. He's probably going to be the number 2 target for Kyler Murray in this offense. And even last year, the second half of the year, he showed he was really good at football still. He's easy. He's reliable. You can start him and leave him in there for weeks. Zach Ertz, number 10. Easy money.
All right, number 9. I have Dawson Knox.
At 9?
Yeah. The tight end for the Buffalo Bills.
Great.
We keep, harping about Buffalo's offense, but Josh Allen loves him. And he has carved out his own role in the Buffalo Bills, and that, speaks for itself. Tight end's hard to come by, man. A good tight end, a reliable tight end, and Dawson Knox is one of them boys. Number 9.
Number 9 for me, I have Dallas Goedert. Philadelphia Eagles tight end. I would have liked him a lot more if they didn't bring in A.J. Brown, but unfortunately they did. So, Goddard's the number 2, maybe probably the number 3 option in this
I would say.
probably run first offense. So Dallas Goedert at number 9. He's gonna have his games where he has good touchdowns. He catches for a lot of passes, but week to week basis might be up and down, hit or miss. So I have Dallas Goedert number 9.
I have Goddard 8.
All right.
For all the reasons you mentioned. He's still going to have he's a solid tight end, like I said before.
Oh, in real life, he's dosh gone good, yeah.
Yeah, like I said before, it's hard to come by a good tight end, and Dallas Goedert is one of the good ones, It just worries me with, moving. A.J. Brown's in there, like you said, so I have him 8.
Number 8 for me is Dawson Knox, Buffalo Bills tight end.
Flip-flop.
I think he's in for a big one. Last year, too, he was very good, tight end, top 5 tight end. He's very reliable for fantasy. And I expect him. People were talking Gabe Davis. They're talking Jamison Crowder. But Dawson Knox could realistically be the number 2 option for Josh Allen in this offense. And he's very, very extremely athletic for a tight end. He's basically a receiver. And he has a knack around the red zone, and he can score a lot of touchdowns. So Dawson Knox, I feel, is a little more reliable than Dallas Goedert from a week-to-week standpoint, so I have him at number 8.
Number 7, I have T.J. Hawkinson. The Lions tight end. A lot of reports coming out of minicamp. They're going to really use him in different spots this year, something I like. And I think it's going to be good for him. He was supposed to bust out last year. It didn't really turn out, but I think they're going to make him, more available, if you will, in the offense for Jared Goff in different ways, not just a one-trick pony or anything like that, but we'll see his talent. I really like T.J. Hawkinson and Luke Hawkinson.
Yeah, I really like T.J. Hawkinson as well as a real-life tight end. He's one of the better ones in the league. He's just capable of doing so many different things. He just doesn't have that. He's not very fast, but he's very athletic for a tight end. Last year was kind of underwhelming with injuries, missing a lot of time. But 2 years ago, he kind of broke out a little bit and just showed that what he's capable of. But that was with Matthew Stafford. So with Jared Goff, obviously, is a downgrade. They added some more weapons on Detroit. We could see, a little more touchdowns than I think he only had 4 last year. But I'm not sure if he's going to get to, 800, 900 yards receiving. So I have him at 7 as well.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that from a reaction. What are we on? 5? 6? 6. I have Dalton Schultz,
Mm-hmm.
the Cowboys tight end. There's a lot of, targets to go around there with Amari being out. And Dalton had a Pro Bowl year last year, and I think he builds on it. I think he's very reliable. I think he's got a good role cut out in the Cowboys offense. And, I have high hopes for Dalton there. Dalton.
Yeah, I have Dalton Schultz at 6'2", man. So we're pretty similar. At first, I thought Dalton Schultz was going to be a guy that was going to kind of bust. I think I mentioned that to you.
Yeah.
Like, why is he going so early? But I looked at Dalton Schultz. I deep dived into him, and he could break out. I mean, last year I think he was a tight end 4. He finished last year. I guess that is considered breaking out, but he's very underrated, very slept on. He can be really gosh darn good in that Cowboys offense.
I had him last year.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow, I completely forgot.
You told me he stunk.
I don't think he's a great real-life player, man. I really don't believe that.
No, I don't think
he's not an upper echelon type of tight end.
He's a creature, like he became something from his opportunity with the Cowboys.
Right. So, I said he stunk, but I wasn't wrong. He's definitely a good fantasy asset. Having him at 6 is kind of conservative. It's just we'll have to see if the guys above can stay healthy and replicate what they've done in the past. But Dalton Schultz is a pretty surefire tight end in 2022.
Number 5, George Kittle.
All right.
From the 49ers. We said it before. Trey Lance, new era at quarterback. I think George Kittle will be fine. He's always going to be in the top 5, and as long as he's able to run, catch, and do everything that tight ends do. So I don't really have much to elaborate on. It's just George Kittle 5. Thank you.
Number 5 for me is Darren Waller.
Oh, wrong.
So now he's with Adams coming in, definitely doesn't help, but I do expect him to get back to being a crucial part to this offense, being a physical beast for the Raiders. But the emergence of Hunter Renfrow, especially down in the red zone, being the possession receiver he is, along with Adams, could possibly drop Waller to the third option in the Raiders' offense. So I have him at 5.
I have Waller at 4.
Okay.
I just think Josh McDaniels' offense, a new look. I think there's I don't know, man. He's just such an athletic freak and a great athlete to have at the tight end position. Why not use that? Very often, quite often. I don't know. I just have a good feeling about Darren Waller and the new outlook of the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, I see your point about Hunter Renfrow, Adams. There's a lot of mouths to be fed, but 6'6", 255 pounds, man.
Mm.
You got to use that unicorn, and I think they will. And he already has that chemistry with Derek Carr, stuff like. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's fine. 4 and 5 is interchangeable. Number 4 for me is George Kittle. Pretty simple. When he's healthy, he's a gosh darn baller. He's a physical freak, super athletic for a tight end. And I know they ask him to do a lot of other things in receiving. He blocks a lot. He's down and gritty. But if you look at his game logs and the games that he plays, he's very impactful, and he has huge games. He has over 100 yards games, 8-catch games. He's just really gosh darn good at football. They just ask him to block a lot more, which, adds a lot to injury risk. So, if they could use Kittle more as a receiver, gosh darn, he would be better than Kelsey.
3. Pick me. Kyle Pitts.
Oh, you got him low, huh?
Tight end from the Atlanta Falcons. What do you mean, is that low?
I'm just kidding. I'm trying to get in your head, dude.
First of all, for a tight end in his second year to usurp George Kittle and break into the top 3 is amazing. And he's already on the trajectory of being the best tight end of all time, Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
This is his offense. It runs through him. He's the best on the team. They ain't got many options. Force feed him. He's a freak. That is all from Aaron.
Kyle Pitts 3 for me as well.
You got him low.
Pretty chalk. I mean, dude, he's on the verge of becoming an absolute superstar. The only reason I have him, the only thing holding him back is the quarterback. If we can figure out if Mariota's any good or if Ritter's any good, that's the only thing hindering Kyle Pitts. Because once he gets a good quarterback, he will be the best tight end in football. He probably already is the best tight end in football. It's just a matter of what's going to happen with the QB play, what's going to happen in Atlanta. And, he had 1,000 yards as a rookie. He's only going to get better as a player.
You need those touchdown numbers up.
And then, if he can get to 6 touchdowns or, 7 touchdowns, shoot. Yeah, top 3. Kyle Pitts at 3, dog.
All right, I guess we have the same top 2.
What do you have there?
Mark Andrews
Mm-hmm.
and Travis Kelce.
Yes.
For Baltimore, man, Mark Andrews is that guy. He's their wide receiver 1.
Mark Andrews was the tight end 1 overall last year?
I did not know that. I would have guessed Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Andrews finished number 1.
Dang, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Do you have Mark Andrews 1?
No.
Oh.
Heck no, man.
But like I said, for these 2 to be up here, they're the first option in the offense, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, these are some people will swear about getting tight end early. I can see it replaces one of your wide receiver spots. If you get these 2, asterisk, these 2, that's it. Maybe Kyle Pitts at one day, but I wouldn't trust like that this early in his career. But these guys have earned this, the top 2, and, they're freaks.
Yeah, I want to say, both Kelce and Andrews, you draft them to be a receiver, and I think both of them finished, top 12 receivers.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And you get that at a tight
rationale
end.
Behind it.
You get that at tight end compared to when someone's starting, Goddard or Hawkinson. That's a huge advantage.
I've done it my whole career, dude. I've never had a good tight end.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get. I've seen Mark Andrews ranked ahead of Kelce. I've seen him go in drafts above Kelce.
I'm not anyone that ranks Mark Andrews over Kelce. I don't they're dumb.
Hate it, but
it is.
They lost Tyreek Hill.
It's a reach.
And to me last year, Kelce was. He ended up with great numbers, but there were games where you're like, is he still the same guy? But with Hill gone and just the upside in that offense, he could go nuclear. In
fantasy, it's kind of deflating when you see you look at their lineup and you're like, they're wide receivers, and then you look down and their tight ends like Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce. It's disheartening. And you have to wait and be like, gosh, I have to wait for this.
Yeah, and it stinks too because you have your tight end play at 12, right, and he gets 6, 7 points, and then the Kelce plays at 325, and in your head you're like, it's at least 15, 20 points. So
you just hope for the bleeding to stop soon.
Right.
You just want it to be over with.
Yeah, if you want to torture your fantasy mates, draft Travis Kelce.
Yeah, it's bad. Trust me. Luke knows all about torturing people with Travis Kelce.
2 years in a row, man. I might do it a third.
Yeah, you won't. You always say you won't, but I feel like you'll have Travis Kelce
I always
again.
do. If I say I won't.
You always say, I'm never doing that again, and then the next year he gets him and he's a beautiful pick.
Yeah, man, be aware, man. If I say I won't do one thing, you always got to keep
He's a
one eye
smoke
open.
screener.
Yeah, man. This whole ranking was a smoke screen, dude. This isn't even. This isn't
right.
Even real.
I saw the truth in your eyes, dude.
I
gave him a truth serum before we got on, so this is all truth from him.
Miles Sanders is my RB10, dude. You didn't even know.
You better wipe with your mouth. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Forget What You Heard. We hope you enjoy our fantasy rankings. We hope you have a great week. Thank you as always for the support. We love you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. We do it for you guys. Peace, love, and happiness.
Carpool.